Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the 1973 American League Championship Series. We're at Game 3. Series is tied 1 game apiece, and the scene is now shifted to Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum for the Baltimore Orioles against the Oakland A's. Starting pitchers for today's game. For the Oakland A's, it'll be left-hander Ken Holtzman, 21-13, 2.97 earned run average. For the Orioles, Mike Cuellar, 18-13 with a 3.27 earned run average. So should be a good pitching matchup. Ballpark effects for Oakland Coliseum favors the pitchers. Singles are 1s for both lefties and righties. Home runs are 1-9 for both lefties and righties. Pitcher catcher hold interface. Both teams are looking to hold the runners very well, as Cuellar, his combination with Echeverria is a -4. Cuellar is a -2. Echeverria is a -2. Hence the -4. Fosse's a -3. Holtzman's a -1. So again, he's a -4 also. So it's really going to cut down on the running game, you would think, unless there's desperate situations. Earl Weaver has employed all right-handed hitters in his lineup. There's not a single lefty in the lineup. They're all on the bench. So if they can knock Holtzman out of the game and get to the right-handers in the bullpen, they can start unloading some of their left-handed pinch hitters. One change for Oakland. Angel Mangual is now on the bench, and playing center field is Billy Canigliaro, not to be confused with Tony Canigliaro of the Red Sox. This is Billy Canigliaro. So he will be in center field for this ball game. These, of course, are the as-played lineups. Again, series tied, a game apiece. Got our Oakland A's colored dice, or at least the closest I could get to that. And this is being recorded on a Thursday night. I'm going to upload it on Friday around lunchtime as a premiere. And then on Saturday, keep the same schedule as I did for the NBC Game of the Week. At 11 o'clock on Saturday is a live stream. It'll be Game 3 of the National League Championship Series between the Pittsburgh Pirates. Doc Ellis on the mound. They'll be hosting San Francisco, and Juan Marichal will be on the mound for the Giants. That series also tied at a game apiece. Both are best-of-5 series. All right, so we're ready to go. Ken Holtzman finishing up the warm-up tosses. And leading things off for the Orioles will be Merv Rettenman, right fielder. And we're underway from Oakland, 3-5. Rettenman against the lefty, struck him out. So Ken Holtzman gets the K on Rettenman, 1 away. Brings up second baseman Bobby Grich. Oh, that one a little slow coming out of there. 3-11 against the left-hander. It's a ground ball to third. Sal Bando is there. 2 down. And then I'll bring up Paul Blair, center fielder. 3-7 against the lefty. He's going to pop it up to second. So all 3 results off the batter card, but they turn in Ken Holtzman's favor as he puts down the Orioles 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Baltimore nothing. Oakland coming to bat. And Mike Cuellar on the bump for the O's. Left-hander, and Bert Campaneris will get the leadoff assignment, followed by Joe Rudy and Sal Bando. 5-7 against a right-hander. That's a strikeout, so Cuellar gets the K on Campaneris. 1 away for Joe Rudy, left fielder. Thought about doing this as a live stream, but then I changed my mind. Thought it'd be better to do it this way. The picture quality comes out so much better. 6-5, right-handed. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We got our first X chance. Berlander's a 1E26 with no one on base. We know he's going to get to it, so we don't need the D20. We just need the D6s. And we're looking at an E26. And as an E26, Mark Belanger has to avoid 12, 17, and 18. That's it. And he does, so it's a good play, Mark Belanger. 2 down. And that'll send up the captain, Sal Bando. 1-6 against the lefties, and ground it to short. Belanger there again. Another 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers. And at the end of 1, we got no score, which is to be completely expected with this pitching matchup. So we go to the top of the second. Holtzman will be facing designated hitter Tommy Davis. And since I didn't check this when I started, let me check one quick thing to make sure it's what I want here. Looks like everything still fits. Okay, we'll go with it. Tommy Davis, DH. 2-9 again off the batter card. It's a ground ball to second. So 4 at bats by the Orioles have all come off the batter card. Nothing off Holtzman card as of yet, but I'm sure that will change as the game wears on. Here's Don Baylor. 2-10, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. Dick Green again is there. 2 up and 2 down. For the human vacuum cleaner, Brooks Robinson, best defensive third baseman ever. Certainly not the best third baseman ever, but best defensive third baseman ever. My top 2 third basemen of all time are Mike Schmidt and George Brett. I'll take those 2 against anybody else that's ever played the game. 6-11, we finally got something off Holtzman's card. It's a split chance. 1-7 is a single. Anything else he lines to short, that's an 11. He's going to line it to Campaneris, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. No score. And Cuellar back out. He will be facing Hot Dog himself, Mr. HD, Reggie Jackson. 6-7, left-handed, ground ball, second base X. That's Grich. He's a 2E5. 2-10, he'll get to that. E5, he's got to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So Bobby Grich makes the play on Jackson, 1 away for Gene Tennis. 4-10, right-handed. That's a fly to center, and Paul Blair is there. 2 down. Designated hitter Darren Johnson, the batter. 2-6 against the lefty. It's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning. So 6 up and 6 down on both sides, which is kind of what we expected as we go to the top of the third. Holtzman facing Williams, Echebarren, and Belanger, bottom third of the Oriole lineup. Earl Williams at first, subbing for Boog Powell, who's nursing an injury, plus against the lefty. They figured they better let Powell sit. Powell did start in game 2 against the righty Catfish. 6-7 against a right-hander, ground ball, second base X. That's Dick Green. He's a 2E11. 2-13, that's going to get to that. E11, he's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. That's a 15. Did not avoid it. It's going to be an error. 1 base error on Dick Green. He hit the 15, which is what he didn't want. When you're an E11, 15 is right there. 15 and 17 are both 1 base errors. So Earl Williams will reach. Sorry, I had to pause that because I sneezed. Earl Williams will reach, and he will not be held. But our first havoc roll of the game. Took the third inning to get to it, but we got to it. Here's Andy Echebarren. 5-11 right-handed. That's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Hot Dog Jackson. He's a 2E11. 2-14, he'll get to that. Technically, a 2-14 will be an F2, so the runner will have to hold. And let's see, Reggie is an E11, so we got to avoid 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. That is a 16. I don't think he avoided it. He's an E11, and a 16 is a 1 base error. Certainly is. 4 and 16 are 1 base errors. So it will be a 1 base error on Reggie. So back-to-back errors to start the third inning. And Ken Holtzman's got to wonder what the heck is going on. 2 consecutive errors to start the top of the third. And here comes Belanger. He is an A bunter, so they're definitely going to be looking to have him bunt. First we'll check for havoc. Nothing going on. Okay, he's an A bunter. The corners have come in to make him a B bunter. See who he bunts it at. It's a 6, so that means it goes to the third baseman, Bando. And now, as a B bunter, pretty much just has to avoid 11 or 12. That's a 3, so that's going to be a good sacrifice. Bando's only play is a throw to Dick Green covering second. Etchebarren will take second. Williams takes third. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Here in the top of the third with runs at a premium, they're going to play the infield in. Try to choke that run off. Holtzman to Retman. 4-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's the center fielder Canigliaro. He is a 4, so that could be trouble. He is a 4 in center field. 4-20, though, he will get to it, and not only does he get to it, but a 4-20 will produce a result of F3, which means all runners have to hold. It won't even be a sacrifice fly on this, assuming there's no error. We got to check for an error on Canigliaro. He is an E11. So same thing with Reggie, that Reggie Jackson had. He's got to avoid the 4, the 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. And that is an 11. He's an 11 with an 11. There is no error there. That's going to be a good play for Canigliaro. He makes the catch, and the runners have to hold. Now it's 2 down, bases second and third. Infield is now back to normal for Bobby Grich. Holtzman 1 out away from getting out of this mess. 2-4, and he does. It's a fly ball to right field. It's going to end the inning. So despite the 2 errors, he gets out of it. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, and 2 left. So we go to the bottom of the third, still no score. And Holtzman picking up his teammates. Uncharacteristic for the A's to make those 2 errors like that. But you never know what the dice are going to bring. So Cuellar will be taking on Canigliaro, who made that fine play in center field to hold the runner from tagging up. He gets his first chance, 5-5, but he's going to strike out. So Canigliaro out on strikes. Here's Ray Fosse. 6-8, and that's a solid single. First hit of the game for either team comes from Ray Fosse on a 6-8 off of Cuellar's card. Fosse will not be held. And Dick Green is your batter. Cuellar to Green, 1-8, and that's a 1 for a single, but anything else is going to be a ground ball B. So it's a 5-4 fielder's choice. Dick Green is your new runner. He's not going to be held either. So 2 down for Campy Campaneris. See what he can do against Cuellar. 5-12. That's a ground ball to third base X. That is Mr. Vacuum Cleaner Brooks Robinson, 1E16. You know he's going to get to it. And with 2 outs, it doesn't matter where he throws it. So, but I'll roll it anyway just to put it out there to make it official. 1-13 is going to be a G1. So technically he'll go to second for the force. And E16 has got to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. That's a 7, and he was an E4. He's an E16 rather, and 7 he could not avoid it. So it is going to be an error on Brooks Robinson's. Boy, the D20 Super Advanced Error Chart is not being kind in this game. Brooks Robinson commits the error. Show it real quickly. He is an E16, and we rolled a 7. So third base, E16, a 7 is right here in the middle. There it is. Don't want to show the charts too much because it's going to mess up my focus. But we'll show it for that one occasion because you may not believe that Brooks Robinson made an error, but he just did. So runners are now at first and second with 2 outs. We are in a clutch situation for Joe Rudi against the left-hander. And Joe Rudi against left-handed pitching gains a clutch hit on 3-4. So if he gets the 3-4, that out will turn into a hit. Something to keep track of. He gets that 3-4. That's a sewer dice, so he's not going to get anything that way. 1-4, not a 3-4. It's a ground ball to third, and this time Brooks Robinson makes the play to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 error rather, and 2 left. So we played 3 from Oakland, and we've got no score. But we have had 3 errors in 3 innings, which is very unusual. So sometimes you get some unusual things that don't seem to make sense, but it happens. So now Holtzman back out, and he'll be facing the top of the order and Paul Blair. Holtzman has a fatigue of 8 and Cuellar fatigue of 7, so they got plenty of juice in the tank. Holtzman 3-3 to Blair is a ground ball to second. Dick Green is there, 1 away for Tommy Davis. 5-6, and that's a 1-6 triple, but that's an 8. It's going to be a single for Tommy Davis, and that breaks up the no-hitter on the Oakland side as Tommy Davis gets a base hit. He will have to be held because he's got the asterisk, which means he would get the jump automatically. But even if he rolls and gets the lead, you're looking at 18 minus 4 is a 14, minus 2 for being held is a 12. So I don't know if you want to take that chance. Plus, he has to have a 6 to do it, so it's very, very tough to get that done. They will hold him on, and here's Don Baylor. Baylor grounded to second, his first chance. 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check, but unfortunately in Oakland it's only a 1. So that's a 17. That will be a liner to short for out number 2. And now it's up to Brooks Robinson. He lined to short his first time up. 2-8, and that's going to be a line out to second. All these hits in column 2, and he found the line out to second on a 2-8. So he lines it to Green to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. Go to the bottom of the 4th, no score from Oakland. So I hope if you are watching this while it's premiering, I hope you are having a wonderful Friday afternoon. If you catch it later on, I hope you're having a wonderful whatever time of or day of the week you're watching it. Here's Sal Bando. Bando grounded to Belanger his first time up. 2-9, and he's going to fly to right, and Retman puts that away, 1 down. And here comes Hot Dog Jackson. 110 against the lefty. He's going to ground it to second. Easy play for Bobby Grich. 2 up and 2 down. That brings up Gene Tennis. 2-9, and he's going to strike out. So Cuellar comes back with a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 5th, still no score. And I'm almost afraid to mention anything about how swiftly the game is going, because that's bound to be a curse or a jinx, whatever you want to call it. But I'll be bold and say it. The game is rolling right along. Here's Earl Williams. He reached on an error by Dick Green his first time up. 3-3 to a lefty. He's going to foul it out to Ray Fosse. 1 away. Here's Echeverry, and he reached on an error by Reggie Jackson his first time up. It's a 4-5, and that's going to be a fly to right field. This time Reggie puts it away with no issues. 2 down for Mark Belanger. 4-9, and that's a solid single for Belanger. Only the second hit of the game for the Orioles. Belanger will be held. He may try to get the lead. Needs a 2-5 or a 12. That's a 9, so he does not get the lead, so he will stand pat. And here's Merv Retman, 0 for 2. 6-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Campaneris. Runner was being held, but being held by the second baseman because of the right-handed hitter. So Campaneris keeps his 2 E26. 2 and a 1, though, it's not going to matter. It's going to get through. 2 and a 1. 2 and a 1 is a single 1-star. So if he had dropped to a 3, it would have been a 2-star, but it's only a 1-star. And now E26, he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. Which he does, but it's going to be a single 1-star for Retman. And now a 2-out rally by the Orioles. 2 on, 2 outs for Bobby Grich now in a clutch situation. And Grich loses a couple of hits in the clutch. A 3-4 and a 1-8. He loses hits in the clutch. So he's got the anti-clutch going on. Holtzman now 3-8, and that's a fly to center. Might have been a sacrifice fly potential, but there were already 2 outs, so it's going to just end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still no score from Oakland. And that'll bring up Cuellar to face Darren Johnson, Billy Canigliaro, and Ray Fosse. 4-12, and against the right-hander, it's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 3-E16 for a pitcher. 3 and a 17. He will get to that easily. That will be a G1. And his error rating is an E16. So he's got to avoid 4, 9, 12, 16, and 17. 12, he did not avoid it. That'll be an error on Cuellar. Error on Cuellar, who is an E16 as a pitcher, and the 12 is sitting right here as an E1. So second error of the game for the Orioles. Both teams now have committed 2 errors. So traditionally you think they would be better fielding teams, but they both committed 2 errors each for a total of 4 errors in 5 innings combined. Darren Johnson will not be held. Here's Canigliaro. He's not a very good bunter, so he'll have him swing away. 6-9, and he's going to fly it to left. Hauled in by Baylor, 1 away. And here's Ray Fosse. Has the only hit of the game for the A's in this one, when he singled in the 3rd. 4-3 is a ground ball third base X. Again, that is now Brooks Robinson. He's a 1-E16 with run on first. We got to roll the D20, see if it's a force play or a double play, maybe. 1 to 17 is definitely a G1. So possible double play as long as Brooks doesn't make an error. He is an E16, so he's got to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. That is an 11, and that is good enough. There is no 11, so it will be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left. 5 innings are complete. Still no score from Oakland. Top of the order will be coming up for the Orioles. It'll be Paul Blair. I'm sorry, not the top of the order. I'm so used to Paul Blair being a leadoff hitter. He's a third place hitter. It's Blair, Davis, and Baylor. Heart of the order, I should say. Not top of the order, but heart of the order. Blair, Davis, and Baylor. Against Holtzman, 5-9. That's a ground ball to short. Campaneris is there, 1 away. For Tommy Davis, who's 1 for 2. 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to strike out. That is only strikeout number 2 for Holtzman. He's not a big strikeout pitcher in this game. Had 157 strikeouts in 297 innings, so maybe 1 every 2 innings. So he's not known for a whole lot of strikeouts. Here's Baylor. 4-9. That's a single. So a 2-out single for Baylor. And he's going to be looking to get the lead. Needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. That's 7. He does not get the lead. So he cannot get the lead. He will stand pat. Will be held. Here's Brooks Robinson. Lined out twice. 3-11, and he's going to foul out to his counterpart at third, Sal Bando, to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, no score. Still goose eggs as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Cuellar will be facing number 9 hitter Dick Green. And then the top of the order, Campaneris and Rudy. Dick Green 0 for 1. 5-6, and that's going to be fly to right. Put away by Retman, so now Green is 0 for 2. Here's Campaneris. Everybody on Oakland's 0 for 2 except for Fosse. He's 1 for 2. Cuellar, 1-9 to Campy. He's going to ground it back to Cuellar. He's now 0 for 3. And here's Joe Rudy. 1-5 for Rudy. He's going to ground it to Grich. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Cuellar. 6 innings are in the books. No score. Who can break through is the question. No runner has gotten past second base yet in this game. Earl Williams will lead it off for the Orioles in the top of the 7th. It'll be the bottom third of the order: Williams, Etchebarren, and Belanger. 1-9, and that is a strikeout. Third strikeout for Holtzman. Brings up Etchebarren. He's 0 for 2. Did reach on an error. 3-3 is a single, so how about that? Etchebarren gets a base hit. He's not going to be held. He's a terrible base runner. So he will just stand pat. Here's Belanger with 1 out already. You're not going to have him bunt, so you have him swing away. 2-4, and that's a walk. So 2-1 with only 1 out and the top of the order coming up. Maybe this is the inning the Orioles get to Holtzman. We shall see. Infield looking for the double play. 2-8, and that's a ground ball shortstop A, just what the doctor ordered. 6-4-3 double play. Gets Holtzman out of trouble. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the 7th inning stretch, and we are still scoreless from Oakland. I figured it'd be a good pitching duel. I didn't know it'd be this much of a pitching duel. But we are at the 7th inning stretch. I'm going to stretch real quick myself. Tabby is downstairs. She did not feel like coming upstairs tonight, so I didn't want to obviously make her do that. So she's resting quietly. And we'll just sally forth without her. All right, bottom of the 7th. Stretch has been completed. It'll be Bando, Jackson, and Tennis. Heart of the order for the A's. And this is the fatigue inning for Cuellar. So we do have to keep track of that. That is a 2-10 for Bando, and he's going to walk. So that's the first notch against the point of weakness. Bando will not be held. Here's Reggie Jackson, Mr. Hot Dog himself. He's got some power against lefties in that column, too. But he found 4-7, and that is a fly to center. 1 away for Gene Tennis. Gene Tennis. 5-4, and that's a catcher X. That is going to be Etchebarren. He's a 3-E-3. 3 and a 12. See what that brings about. 3 and a 12 for a catcher is a P/F, possible pass ball. And he is an E3. So we're looking for 3, 16, and 18, avoiding those. And he does. But it is a P/F, and P/F says, with a runner on base, pass ball. So it will be a pass ball. Moving the runner into scoring position takes the double play out of the equation as well. So that was double whammy. Tennis still at the plate. Bando not going to be held. He doesn't run all that well. Cuellar, 6-8, and that's a single to center field. Now the question is, do you send him? Well, Paul Blair in center field has a -2 arm, so that may put the kibosh on that. Bando's a 13, up a hole makes him a 14, but the -2 is a 12. And there's only 1 out. With 2 outs, they would send him, I think. But with 1 out, they're going to hold him up and put runners on the corners with only 1 out. Runners on the corners, only 1 out. And Darren Johnson, the designated hitter, stepping to the plate. Infield is playing for the double play. They want to turn 2. Oops, Suidice. Let's re-roll that. 4-9, and that is a single 2 stars, and that will score the run, first run of the game. And now Cuellar is fatigued, as he has given up 3 hits and a run this inning. So Cuellar is fatigued, and they will most likely be going to the bullpen with more righties at the plate. Canigliaro, not that great of a hitter, but still can't afford Cuellar to be hitting some of these dots, I don't think. Well, they're going to give him one more. They got warming up in the bullpen. They got Eddie Watt, but he needs a little bit more time to warm up, so they're going to have him pitch to Canigliaro. They're going to play the infield in now. They shifted to the infield in instead of the double play depth. They're playing for infield in. 4-2, and that is a ballpark blast, 1-9, but he has weak power. It is a 2, though, so it is going to be a single for Canigliaro, single 2 stars, and that makes it 2-0. And that's going to do it for Cuellar. He was rolling along well, but the 7th inning got him, and it's 2-0 Oakland. And we will get a new pitcher for the Orioles. It'll be Eddie Watt, right-hander. Try to keep things from getting any worse. Eddie Watt, 3-4, 3.30 ERA and 5 saves. So Eddie Watt. Cuellar is going to go 6 1/3 innings. He's going to give up 4 hits. So far, 2 runs, both earned. He walked just the one batter, Bando, to lead off the inning. So we had the 1 walk. Strikeouts, not that many. 1, 2, 3. So 3 strikeouts, and he is on the hook for the loss, unless the Orioles can mount some sort of a rally. So Cuellar is done, and Eddie Watt, the new pitcher, facing Ray Fosse. Runner still at the corners. Infield is in. Eddie Watt looking to stem the tide. 2-3, and that's a ground ball first base C. Good thing they had the infield in. So let's check our chart. Make it official. Runners are at the corners. First and third, ground ball C, infield in is an 8. Batter out, runner on third holds, runner on first goes to second. Had to have been over here, it would have been a 3, which would have been batter out, runners advance, and the run would have scored. So playing the infield in this instance worked out. It's going to go 3 unassisted. Usually on C's I do 3-1, but if you're going to do 3-1, then the run on third to me would have scored. So to me, this is one where Williams at first fields it because he's in, he fields it, and he's going to make the play himself. So Johnson will hold, Canigliaro will go to second base. But now there are 2 outs for Dick Green. Clutch situation for Green. And against right-handers, he gets a clutch hit on 112. That's the only clutch on the chart for him against right-handers. So he rolls a 112. That becomes a single. 2 stars. Oh, it's a 3-7 against the righty, and that's a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for Oakland. They do it on 1, 2, 3 hits. No errors and 2 left. So we go to the 8th. It is now Oakland 2 and Baltimore nothing. Can Holtzman back out? This is his point of weakness inning. So we'll keep an eye on that. Bobby Grich is your leadoff man. He's 0 for 3. 212, and against the lefty, that's a Lomax, line out to short. Nobody else is on base, though, so it's just simply a line out to Campaneris, 1 away. Here's Paul Blair. 2-9, and that's trouble. 1-2 is a triple. Anything else is a double. So Paul Blair cracks a 1-out double. And now that brings the tying run to the plate in Tommy Davis. Now the Oakland bullpen loosening. Raleigh Fingers is loosening in the bullpen to try to come in and shut it down if Holtzman gets in trouble. 4-6, and that is a ground ball to third B. That will hold the runners. So Blair will hold it second. Now there's 2 outs and Don Baylor, your batter. Now, what do you do if you're Oakland? You could intentionally walk Baylor and pitch to Brooks Robinson. It would be a gutsy move, but Baylor is a 286 hitter and Robinson's 257. So they're going to do it. They're going to give the 4 fingers. They don't want to deal with Baylor and his 286 average. They're going to take a chance with Brooks Robinson. So controversial move here by Dick Williams, but he's given the 4 fingers. And anybody that disagree with him, he's given him another finger. So Ken Holtzman is ready to go. 2 outs clutch situation for Brooks. 2's chance of a balk or a pass ball. Chance for a balk, but he has no balk rating. So Holtzman will not worry about that. Here's the pitch to Robinson. 6-8, and that's a ground ball first base B, and that works. As the first baseman, Gene Tennis, steps on the bag to end the inning. So the controversial decision pays off. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th. Still 2-0. You don't see managing like that on that other channel. That's for sure. A little outside the box managing. All right, bottom of the 8th. Eddie Watt. See, it took a little blur off there, I think. So let's put that back. All right, Eddie Watt will be facing Campaneris, Rudy, and Bando, top of the order. 2-9, and that's a strikeout. Strikes out Campaneris. Campy 0 for 4 on the day. Here's Joe Rudy. 5-9. Ground ball to Brooks Robinson. It's going to end the inning. Or not end the inning, but end the at-bat for Rudy. 2 down. Here's Sal Bando. He's walked, but he's 0 for 2. He's also scored the first run of the game. 3-4. And that's a straight-up home run for Sal Bando. He goes deep. 3-4. Look at it again. 3-4 against the right-hander. That's a solid home run for Sal Bando. And that's going to give the A's a 3-0 lead. Insurance run to the max. And now here's Reggie Jackson, and that's going to be it for Eddie Watt. They will pull him, and they will go to left-handed pitcher. They will go to a lefty, Don Hood, out of the bullpen. Hood 3-2 with 3.93 ERA and 1 save. So Hood is in there. Let's get the numbers on Eddie Watt. Watt pitched 2/3 here and 2/3 here, so an inning and a third. He gave up the 1 hit, which was the homer for the 1 run. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 1. And now it's up to Don Hood to try to end the inning and get his team at bat. Try to break into that 3-run lead. Lefty on lefty matchup, 4-11. Struck him out. So Don Hood comes in and strikes out Reggie to end the inning. So Don Hood, third of an inning, gets a strikeout. Can't do any better than that. But the A's get the insurance run on the home run from Sal Bando, the captain. And we go to the top of the 9th, 3-0. Favor of Oakland. Raleigh Fingers is still ready in the bullpen. Holtzman has given up 1 against his point of weakness, but they're going to see if they can get a complete game out of him. But again, if he gets into any sort of trouble, Raleigh Fingers is standing ready in the bullpen just in case. All the pinch hitters are left-handed, so as long as Holtzman pitches, all the righties are going to stay in there. So here's Earl Williams, first baseman. And Williams, 237 hitter. I wonder if, I may go against my better judgment and bring in a lefty. We're going to bring in Al Bumbry to pinch hit. He's a 337 hitter for Earl Williams. So, again, thinking outside the box a little bit, bringing in a lefty against a lefty. That's something that other channel would do on a regular basis, but I don't usually like to do it. But I feel like it has to be done because Williams just not a very good hitter. So Bumbry's going to pinch hit. He's a good leadoff man too. Pinch hit here in the bottom of the top of the 9th, rather, trailing 3-0. Holtzman 3-7, left-handed, flies to left, 1 away. 1 down. So for anybody that's curious and thinks it would have 3-7 would have been a strikeout for Earl Williams. So So much for that. Here's Etchebarren. He's going to be pinch hit for as well. He hits 257, but not very well. Now, who do they have on the bench? Do they have any lefties that are better than that? Who might they go to in this instance? They're going to bring in Boog Powell to pinch hit for Etchebarren. So Powell will do the pinch hitting for Etchebarren. Again, another lefty, pinch hitter against a lefty, but he's got the better average. So we're going to stick with him. 2-8 against the left-hander, struck him out. Etchebarren on a 2-8 would have flied to center, so it really didn't matter. Here's Belanger, the last chance. He's a 226 hitter. But they really don't have anybody else to play shortstop, so I don't think. Let me see if they have a backup shortstop on their roster. Frank Baker is a backup shortstop, so they could pinch hit for Belanger, but Belanger's reached base 2 times already against Holtzman, so he's been the only guy getting on base a lot, so they're going to stick with him. And that's what it needs, somebody on base. 6-6, and he's going to get on base again. That's a 1-6 double, but that's going to be a single for Belanger. He's 2 for 3 on the ball game, so he stays where he was. Had they brought in a left-handed pitcher, he would have got a single also. So here's Retman now, top of the order. Belanger not going to be going anywhere, I don't believe. In fact, they're not even going to hold him on. He's got the asterisk, which means he would get the good lead at a 16, but -4 would make him a 12, and you're down 3-0, you're not going to run, so they're not going to hold him on. Holtzman now to Retman to try to complete the game. 4-12 to a righty. It's a ballpark single check. That's a 2, but the singles are only a 1, so it's going to be a fly to center, and there is your ball game. The Oakland A's shut out the Baltimore Orioles 3-0. Player of the game, Ken Holtzman. He pitches a complete game shutout. He is the winning pitcher. Tough luck loser is Cuellar. Holtzman goes 9 innings, gives up 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So he scatters 7 hits. He walks, well, 1 was intentional. He walked Belanger, and the only other walk was an intentional walk. So he does walk 2, which 1 was intentional. Strikes out 1, 2, 3, 4. Struck out 4. So let's get the totals for both teams. Hits for the A's, they only got 5 hits. So 3 runs and 5 hits. Both teams committed 2 errors, which were really uncharacteristic. 7 hits for the Orioles. Left on base, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 left on for the Orioles. That's their bugaboo. A's only left on 4. So there's your thing in a nutshell right here. The Orioles left 10 on base. The A's only left 4. Home run of the game, Sal Bando, the only home run of the game. Holtzman, the complete game winner, 9 innings pitched, complete game, 7 hits shutout. Walked 2, struck out 4. A's lead it 2-1. And we wait for game 4 in Oakland, which will be a rematch of game number 1. And that will see McNally against Vida Blue. And that'll be game 4, where the A's can wrap it up by beating the Orioles and move on to the World Series. But Orioles still have something to say about it, and they're going to be a tough out for sure. So appreciate you spending part of your evening or day, whenever you're watching this, with me. And don't forget, Saturday will be the NBC Game of the Week playoff edition. 1973, Game 3. San Francisco travels to Pittsburgh. It'll be Juan Marichal against Doc Ellis. That'll be at 11 o'clock live stream, 11 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, October the 12th. So, again, Oakland A's win it 3-0 over the Orioles. Hope you all have a great rest of your day whenever you watch this. And if you're watching it when I post it, hope you have a great weekend. And until next time, Enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.